Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Uh, Today we are gonna start with the absorption equipments. Actually, generally we will discuss that main absorption equipment which we have to discuss or which we have to cover here in this syllabus. So uh, those will be started today. I think maybe they will be covered in this lecture or some portion will be covered in next lecture, and then we will jump towards the design inshallah in next week. So before this, if I just quickly recap, last time in last lecture we discussed generally basic terminologies related to the absorption, that what is absorption, what is stripping, and how does this operation takes place. If absorption is of two types like physical and chemical, which one is preferred, which one is better, and in case of even chemical we saw that there were further two classifications like reversible reactions, in which reversible reaction occur or irreversible reaction. So we saw that which one should be used or is better to go for. And I think towards the end of lecture there were there was a table in which some of the solvents were provided, that if you have to absorb any specific component, which solvent is commonly used in industry. So next is, now when you are aware about the introduction, next is about equipment for liquid vapor separation, or here liquid vapor contacting we can say in case of absorption. So we, what are the equipment types, which equipment are generally used. So let's start here with the main common uh, option which can be there, like which can be available for bringing in contact the vapor and liquid. Because if you remember, this was also discussed yesterday, that absorption or stripping, they are quite close to the distillation. Why? Because in case of distillation as well as in this absorption or stripping, we bring in contact the vapor and the liquid phases. So when what method should be used for designing the equipment, then analyzing its performance, the selection of various parts inside the equipment for distillation or mean for this absorption and stripping. This depends that which type of equipment actually we are going to use. So here in this diagram, this is from your textbook, in which you are shown with are 5 different type of equipment. So if you look at the first equipment, you are quite familiar with this now, that there is a vessel. Inside that there are, this is like symbol for the plates, trays. When there are trays inside any column, we just mention or mark them in the form of simple like horizontal line. So in this simple like gas enters from the bottom of the equipment and it leaves from the top, and liquid will enter from the top and it will be leaving from the bottom, and there will be the contact between liquid and vapors on the surface of these plates. Because on each plate from the distillation, you know that there is a hold up of liquid. Some liquid stays on each plate, and when vapor coming from the bottom plate, they cross the holes. We will discuss that from where the vapor enter to the next plate, to the top plate. So they will come in contact with the liquid and their mass transfer occurs, and then vapor moves to the top and liquid goes down. So the next equipment which is shown here is their names are also mentioned at the bottom in the caption of the figure. So that is related to like packed column. So here some random packing is shown to you. Otherwise, sometime if you will look at its symbol inside some software, then there is a usually one cross, like for example, if you are looking in the VGO or some other equipment, software S Pen or like that, so there will be something like this. So it is a symbol for the packing. So somewhere you will see such kind of symbol, that is for packing actually. So that will show that it is a packed tower, maybe packed reactor or so on. So in this here, what happens? Gas again enter from the bottom. and it starts moving upward while it leaves from the top, and liquid will be flowing down. And here the liquid and the vapor contact is on the surface of these packing. Later, I think at the end of this lecture or in next lecture, we will be talking about packing, or maybe already you are familiar somehow. Packing or some packing, you can say, some random structure, and liquid flows on the surface of those random structure, and vapor will also be moving towards the top. So on the surface of those random structures, there will be the contact between the liquid and vapor. While in case of these packings, there is no such like liquid hold up as it occurs in case of plates. Here in these kind of equipment, in a packed columns, like liquid keeps on flowing down throughout the column. It like didn't stay, which happens actually in case of trays. So here is it is continuously moving down. It will be flowing down on the surface of the packing and then will leak from the bottom. So I think here in mass transfer, yes, lab, like separation process lab, you call it. So there is equipment related to this, in which you can see there are packings and liquid flows on the surface of packing towards downward, and gas we enter from the bottom and that moves towards top. Hopefully you will be performing this experiment. So then the third type of equipment which is shown here, that is called spray tower. So as you can see here in this in this figure, that gas just entering from the bottom and it is moving towards the top, while liquid is being sprayed. Due to this they call it spray tower. So you can see there are a number of nozzles inside the equipment at various locations, and liquid in these kind can be like different type of tower. For example, in this tower there are nozzles at various locations inside the column, and liquid is being sprayed at various locations, or sometimes you can have only spray from the top. So in this, actually there is no structure, there is no plate which can hold the liquid, which can stop, which can provide the resistance, which can provide more area for the contact. Only the gases and liquid, they will come in somehow in contact with each other. Yes, the liquid is well distributed with the help of nozzles, so that due to more distribution of the liquid, small droplets of the liquid, you can increase the contact between vapor and liquid. And when you look at the next diagram, actually in this, that is called simple bubble column. So in this there is a column of the leak in which the liquid is flowing continuously from top to the bottom. Here it is not like distributed in the form of nozzle liquid. You can see that there is a liquid level. Actually this column remains filled somehow, you can say, with the liquid. So its diameter is also less as compared to others. So in this, when continuously liquid will be flowing down, what you do, you enter the gas, and that gas actually only bubbles through this column. So again in this column, as such, there is no restriction, there is no structure which can stop the liquid and can increase the contact between liquid and vapor. The difference between these two, C and D, like spray tower and the bubble column, is that in this still you distribute liquid somehow with the help of nozzles in the form of droplets, while in this case liquid stream is continuous. So contact between the liquid and vapor will be better in this case if I just compare these two, because here liquid is like more distributed. It is in the form of droplets, and whenever we have small droplets, small size of the particle or droplets or such things, so actually the contact area increases. So there is more contact of these small droplets with the gas molecule as compared to this. If it is a continuous stream, gas will just bubble through this, but as compared to this, the contact between the liquid and vapor will be less. And the last one which is shown here, that is actually called centrifugal contactor. So in this, what you do, you apply some centrifugal force. So how it is constructed, if you look at the main diagram, in which there is some kind of vessel, and in which you can see some of like these main what I can say is some distortion or some disturbance or small kind of bubble formation. So here the liquid enters from the top, and this is like that centrifugal contactor. Through this, what happens when liquid will enter, you are just moving this shaft and liquid is distributed towards the main outside surface. Here there will be definitely openings. Through these openings, liquid can enter towards the vessel because it is entering from here, and when it is moving due to motion, then liquid is just distributed in the all sides of this. And from where vapor is entering, vapor are entering from the main vessel side, and definitely this will be gas, this will be at high pressure. So when these vapor will come inside the liquid, they will contact somehow the liquid, and then vapor enter to this I mean through these holes, because I told you here there will be holes. They are used for the like movement of liquid from this contactor towards main body, and escape of vapors from this main body towards this area, and from where then vapors are collected and leave from the top. So out of all these kind of equipment, what do you think, which equipment are better?
सर ये जो है मैथ्स ए
Only eight?
सर सर बिकॉज उसमें सर हमारे पास जो हमारे पास उसका टाइम है उनका लिक्विड और वेपर का जो आपस में कांटेक्ट टाइम वो मेरे ख्याल में
Yeah.
बेहतर है बाकी से ज़्यादा टाइम है.
Okay, good. Any other answer?
सर ये तो हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट पे डिपेंड करता है ना सर कि कौन सा टाइप का यूज़ करना है. सर ऐसे बता सकते हैं कि अच्छा बेहतर.
नहीं, अभी जितनी डिस्कशन हमने की है, व्हाट डू यू थिंक, एज ही सेड दैट इन वन ऑफ द इक्विपमेंट द कांटेक्ट बिटवीन द लिक्विड एंड वेपर फॉर मास ट्रांसफर, one thing let me tell you again, repeat it, like that there should be the good contact between liquid and vapor. So in which of the equipment here the contact will be better? By the way, before going for that, what do you think, what is the purpose of installing these plates and packing inside?
Contact is other
increase the
thing.
contact, contact
ये-
area, surface area.
Yeah, to increase the contact area as well as to give more residence time to the like liquid and vapor inside the equipment. Definitely contact area is also more in these, because if like liquid will be staying at each of the plate, vapor contact will increase. As compared to this, if you look at these equipments, there is no such like resistance, there is no stoppage of the liquid. So definitely it is low in these kind of equipment, but in this it is higher as well. At the same time, if I just as I think, if I look at this fourth equipment and the first and second, what is happening, you are continuously feeding the liquid, because we are not spraying even in these two. Let's just consider that continuous liquid flow. So in this, continuous liquid will be going down, there is no resistance, there is no stoppage of the liquid. Actually the contact time of the liquid to stay in this column, even if they are of same size, same diameter, same length, will be less in this, and contact time of staying of the liquid inside the equipment will be higher in these two. Now in which one it will be more better, than in these two we have to later discuss that which one is better or which one should be selected, because out of these two then later on there are some certain parameters. Although these both equipment are good for the contacting of liquid and vapor, but based on some parameter then we select that either the plate or the like I mean some random distributed or structure distributed packing. So you guys are right. First two equipment are overall better. They are a good choice as compared to these three, because here the contact between the liquid and vapor is low, and in order to achieve specific mass transfer, specific separation, like in case of absorption or stripping, so you will need maybe number of equipments, or at the same time you still maybe cannot reach to that efficiency which you can reach in by using even a single column in these cases. And due to this reason, By the way, some of you can think that this is easy to construct by all other three. Maybe this one, yes, a bit complex. It contains some centrifuge system, but these two are simple column and no much effort, or like you don't have to put. Then it is not that costly, but these are costly. But at the end of the day, we need the mass transfer. We have to reach some like goal of separating some gas, so definitely we have to go for this choice. And if we will be going with these, we will not reach to that separation. Then maybe you will need number of such units, and instead of installing the number of units, you should go for 1 or 2 units, which can give you better contact and better mass transfer. So these devices, as you have seen already discussed, they are almost cylindrical vertical columns, and they contain like trays or packing or some without packing. So the same is mentioned that these three, which are shown at the bottom, spray, bubble column, and centrifuge contactor, they are not commonly used equipment. The first two are commonly used, which are like called tray columns and pack columns. So let's talk about them in a bit detail now. So we will start with first tray towers. So in tray tower, as we have just discussed, that tray tower are those tower, they are vertical actually cylinders, and they contain some of the trays. On the surface of those trays, there is the contact between the liquid and vapor, and those liquid and vapor are counter currently moving. So counter currently, gas moves, enters from the bottom of the column, and liquid enters from the top of the column easily, and they come in contact with each other. So in such case, when liquid and vapor are coming in contact with each other, this contact occurs actually on the surface of the tray or the plate. For example, in this diagram, you can see here there is some plate or a tray. So on its surface, there is a liquid hold up, and from the bottom, vapor, or as here mentioned, it's a gas or the vapor are entering, and then on the surface of this, there is a contact between liquid and vapor. And during this contact between liquid and vapor, they try to reach to, like, both liquid and vapor try to reach to the equilibrium. So in that case, there is a transfer of some components from the liquid to the vapor as well. Some will be transferred from vapor to the liquid. So already I think you guys studied this in this relation. Hopefully you know that above each tray there is some space. These trays are not like installed one tray just above the other. There is some gap space between them, and that space is even above something we call it weir. Here, if you can see that for the liquid hold up on each tray, there is a vertical like structure, and you hold here. It is also mentioned somewhere inside this diagram, weir. So above the surface of weir, still there is some space between like next tray and this tray. So as you can see that here above tray is just above that. So actually between these two trays and above the surface of the liquid, we call it disengagement section. Disengagement of what? When here liquid and vapor are coming in contact, so some of the liquid droplets will be carried away with the vapors. So when they are being carried away with the vapor, carried away towards the top, when gas or this vapor will move towards the top plate, in this section, before reaching to the next tray, liquid droplets which are being carried with this, they will be just dropped down due to the gravity, because here vapor, while they are carrying them due to force of buoyancy, they are just pulling them with them towards the top plate, but later on when they just move up due to the gravity, those liquid droplets will just simply fall down, until unless there is a very high pressure of the vapor and they want to carry all the liquid due to that high pressure towards the top. So next, like here on the surface of each plate, there is a liquid, as already mentioned, that this liquid enter from the top plate to the, top mean this plate above to the down plate, and liquid holds on its surface, and then when it is filled up to the level of the weir, then it starts moving down to the next plate, and through area from which it moves down is called downcomer, this area. like you can see here, there is a vertical plate, and between the wall of the column it will be going down. Similarly, it is happening from here, it is coming from the top tray. This is its wear level up to here, and then it starts moving down to this plate and so on. And this happens how liquid moves throughout the column, while vapor always just enter from the bottom, and then they keep on moving towards the top, and they flow through some holes inside the trays. So here, when the vapor enters from the bottom, they form some kind of froth. As mentioned, froth, I think you know that there is some kind of bubbling inside the liquid, and then that helps us actually when this froth is created. There is a agitation inside the liquid, and there is a more better mass transfer inside the at the surface of the plate. By the way, here something other mentioned in this diagram is these manometers. So what does they show? Here, what does this mean? What is it showing? Either there is a decrease in pressure as we are moving upward, or increase. Anyone?
Sir, the gas pressure will be decreased because the gas is hindered by the liquid.
Okay, as well played. So good. As you keep on moving above the distillation column, if you start from the bottom, as you keep on moving towards the top, pressure decreases, although there is a slight decrease. At the end of the day, when you are designing the column, hopefully you already calculated, or if you didn't, definitely you have to calculate pressure drop through the distillation columns. So due to this contact or resistance of the plate, because all of a sudden you put some resistance, although there are holes, but this is not continuous. So in this case they will be restricted as well. There is a liquid that also will be providing some resistance and so on. Due to this, it is mentioned that here pressure will keep on decreasing.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, what is the purpose of downcomer? If we do not install it, then what will be going on?
So what do you think? What will be going on from where liquid should come down? There should be some path of the liquid to come to the downward plate. If, for example, you think that by the way, there should be some path for the liquid. Okay, so here this is the path for liquid. For example, we just say that we don't have this path, so liquid have to move towards the down plate. So what can be the other possible paths? Any option?
सर इस अब प्लेट के साथ ड्रॉप अटैच होकर गिर पे
you wanna say maybe from here through the holes of the plate? That can be one of the option, but you know that when liquid will be flowing down through these holes of the plate, so you have to move vapor towards the top. So those vapors will be hindered as well if there is a huge flow rate of the vapor at some time. Huge in terms of there are large number of vapor and they are putting more pressure. So in that case, the liquid will not flow down. So in such kind of column where there are trays, always there should be some path for the liquid to come towards the down plate, and that is provided through this downcomer. Otherwise, there is no other option. I think if we other case will be if we don't install any plates, then it will be a simple column in which without the plates, as we have seen somewhere in the spray or the bubble column. So in such kind of columns in which there are trays, there should be some path, and this is the most best possible path for the liquid to flow down, and it is very commonly used in all of the distillation equipment. Yes, in some kind of equipment, for example, in this equipment, you can see that it is on the side, like that is along the wall of the distillation column. They are constructed in such a way, sometimes you can have distribution of the liquid from the middle. What happens here, instead of installing on the side, you install weir here. So there will be actually liquid distribution on the both sides. Liquid will be coming from here as well as from the top plate. It will be coming from here, and it will move down from here, and then again on the next plate it will be distributed from the side. So these are the only way from which you can pass the liquid to the bottom trays. There should be always some downcomers. Okay, did you get it?
Yes, sir, I get it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so whenever here in these column, liquid and vapor, they come in contact with each other when vapors flow from the bottom tray through the holes to the upper tray, and whenever there is a contact between the liquid, as shown in this figure, that there are 5 type of liquid vapor contact or regime occur when they come in contact. The first one, which is shown here, is called spray regime. As you can see somehow from the diagrams, although they are not that clear, but still you can get some idea that in this case, which is called first of all called spray regime. So in this kind of system, actually gas phase has a high flow rate, vapor have very high flow rate, and they are, like as you mentioned, they are continuous flowing through the system. And in this case, usually liquid level is low on the surface of the tray, or there is small amount of the liquid on the surface of tray. So what will happen when large number of vapor will come in contact with the liquid, they will disperse all the liquid towards the top, or they will be creating some kind of spray or showers here. So this is first kind of regime which can occur, like when there is a small amount of liquid on the surface, and that small amount maybe sometimes can be that liquid is less on this surface, or otherwise if you install a small weir. So in that case, what will happen, if weir is small, there is no much hold up of the liquid. So in that case, this can happen. Due to this reason, whenever you design these equipment, still there are standards for the weir, that what should be the weir height, and it depends that how much is the overall diameter of the tray and how much liquid should be. The purpose is actually to accommodate the liquid, to hold the liquid so that we can get better contact between the vapor and the liquid. So in such cases, when there is low liquid, vapor will be just showered, liquid will be actually carried away with the vapor, because it is already in small amount and vapor are high in pressure, so they can carry more liquid towards the top plate. And instead of getting better separation, you will be still transferring liquid towards the top. And when we are transferring liquid, actually usually liquid is more or less heavier component as compared to the vapor, so they will be carried away to the top of the column. So this is usually not preferred way. Due to this reason, when we design, we accommodate some amount of liquid, that it is not like spray regime, or it does not make this kind of tower. The other one, next one, which is mentioned here in the second diagram, and that is called froth regime. So in this case, actually there is a good contact between the liquid and vapor, although both liquid and vapor, there are continuous phase. Later on, I think in next types we will get the idea that what continuous is. Continuous means there is a good flow of both liquid and vapor, and good liquid hold up on its surface. So here their contact between the liquid and vapor is a better, and overall better distribution as well as mass transfer occur in these kind of such kind of system, which is called froth regime. So in this case, actually gas passes through the froth, it makes froth, but it does not make some gas shower or sprays. Yes, whenever vapor will come in contact with the liquid, there will be formation of froth, but it's not like formation of some small droplets or the vapor which are droplets which are carried away with the vapor, as it is happening in the first case. In the second case, there will be agitation inside liquid, but this agitation is for good mass transfer and not much carry away of the vapor with liquid with the vapors. So the third one, which is mentioned here, and that is called bubble regime. So bubble regime is whenever liquid flow rate is enough, liquid level is enough, but gas flow rate is low. So in that case, what happens, for example, if you have just seen simple experiment, maybe in classes of FSC or HETRIC, or here maybe you perform such experiment, if there is a small amount of gas that you want to pass through the liquid, and liquid is a constant stream. So in that case, if flow rate of gas is low, only some bubbles will be formed, because there the gas flow rate is not high, so there will be not much agitation, and it is also not the preferred one, that gas flow rate should not be that low, that there is not good contact, only some bubble are formed. In this case, actually there are no bubbles, there is agitation inside the liquid, froth formation is taking place, but here only some bubble, and when that bubble will form, bubble will just cross the liquid very easily, and it will not like make much contact with the liquid, and that is still not favorable for mass transfer. And the next one, fourth one, is called emulsion regime. So here in this case, actually flow rate of liquid are too high, while the gas bubbles are small still due to the like low flow rate. So in this case, that forms some emulsion. So emulsion, do you know what is emulsion? So here, okay, if you don't know, just look for this. So just here, what happens when small amount of gas is passing through the liquid, those are actually trapped inside the liquid. They don't have that high pressure even. In the case previously discussed, they can even escape from the liquid, but in this case, they are just trapped inside the liquid in the form of small droplets, and they can't even move out of the liquid, or very small amount of droplets will be just moving out. A vapor actually will be moving out of the system. So this again is not favorable for the mass transfer. And the fifth one, last one, which is shown here, they call it like cellular foam. Foam formation takes place, and foam, you already know that foam is also like trapping of some vapor inside the liquid, and when foam formation takes place, there is still not much mass transfer. Those vapor which are coming, they are like very small amount, they are at very low rate, and they are also trapped inside the system. So overall, if you look at these, I mean, 5 kind of regime, in these you can see that actually as we keep on moving away from A to the E, so towards from A to the E, overall flow rate of gas is decreasing in each of these cases. So the second one is most preferred one, and they are here shown in other diagram. It is, I think, easy for you guys to remember it. So if you look at this, here it is shown in form of some regions. First of all, just look at this initially, like jet spray region, this one, this first line here. So in this, liquid flow rate is on x-axis and vapor flow rate on y-axis. So there is very little or no liquid flow rate, and still if you keep on moving away, flow rate of the vapor is high as compared to the liquid flow rate, liquid holdup. So in this case, it will jet or spray because vapor flow rate is high. So next portion in which he has shown that there is a good match between the liquid and vapor flow rate. So if it is somehow balanced, it will be good. And if you can see in this region, actually in between all these lines, that is the froth region, which he mentioned is like favorable one or better, because there is a good contact between liquid and vapor, because both have sufficiently good flow rate. And then next one, like here in case of bubble, you can see that actually vapor flow rate is low, and it is getting still low, but the vapor flow rate is increasing. If you take any point here, the vapor flow rate is usually higher as compared to the vapor. So when liquid flow rate is high and vapor flow rate is sufficiently low, somehow bubble formation takes place. And here in these cases, here liquid flow rate is already very high, and when you are bringing in contact small flow rates of the vapors, so then in some of the region there will be formation of this emulsion, and as well as like cellular foam, that is also such kind of this. And the one here mentioned at the top is the flooding, which I think you know, but if you don't know, flooding is actually when there is do you know what is flooding, by the way? Sweeping and flooding, did you study somewhere, guys?
Sir, please repeat your question kindly.
I'm asking, did you study somewhere weeping, flooding, such kind of terminologies during distillation?
Sir, weeping we have studied. Weeping is that when the vapor flow rate is too low and the liquid is high on the plate, then the liquid starts going down from the holes. From that holes, and
Yes.
the purpose of the holes was that gas has to pass up, but the liquid starts flowing down, so it is called weeping.
Okay, and this flooding?
So no idea about the flooding.
Overflow of
Actually, here,
water.
no, actually, flooding here is the main like you are right, flood related to flood, but here it is related to the vapor in this case in the column. Actually, if you just look at this solid line from the top, you can see that if you just take any point of this, the liquid flow rate is low and vapor flow rate is very high. So in these cases, when vapor flow rate is very high, as I already mentioned here somewhere while explaining the jet or spray, that liquid droplets are carried away towards the top of the column with the vapor, because vapor are very high in number as well as their pressure is high, so they will be carrying actually liquid droplets, because liquid goes down due to the gravity, but here the force on the liquid droplets is more as compared to the gravity. Due to this, they are carried away towards the top, and if they still keep on moving towards the top, at the end of the day towards the top of the distillation column, there is large amount of the liquid as compared to which it should be. So this condition is called flooding, that large gathering or large amount of the liquid when it reaches to the top of the column, and this happens actually due to the high flow rate of the vapor. So that condition is named as the flooding. So don't worry, I think again it will also come somewhere. I will show it with some diagram. So ideally, when some of this phenomena of the contact of the liquid and vapor is occurring, so we say that liquid shouldn't carry any bubble, and that is called occlusion. Liquid which is going down towards the bottom column through downcomer, so that should be only liquid, that should not trap any vapor. For example, here in these kind of cases where somehow through this vapor can still escape, but in this you can see here that when liquid is going down, it contains some kind of bubble inside this, as well in this foam there will be the like liquid bubble, and they are trapped and they will be going down with the like liquid towards the bottom. So it should be only liquid, it shouldn't trap any vapor. This is under normal condition, that liquid should carry no vapor, and it is called occlusion. Other for the ideal operation or good operation of the equipment, that vapor also should not carry any liquid droplets, and that is called actually entrainment. If you see somewhere any term of like written entrainment, so entrainment always here mean that if vapors, they are moving from one plate to the top plate, so they should not carry, for example this is plate 1 and this is 2, vapor are just moving away, it should not carry any uh, liquid droplets, only vapor should go towards the top. And this was happening in the first case here, as we have seen that when there is huge flow of vapor, they will be carrying actually liquid droplets with itself towards the top. But in these cases, opposite to that, liquid carries vapor with this, that is called occlusion. And the third one which is required is that no weeping of the liquid through the holes in the tray. That liquid should only come down through the downcomer, the path specified for the liquid. It should not flow down through the holes, as one of the students just mentioned this in a good way, like what is weeping. So here you can see this is the normal operation of the main tower, in which the vapor are entering from the bottom and they are coming in contact with the liquid, and there is no uh, much liquid flow rate, although he didn't mention quite, there is no liquid flow rate from these holes, and these are the holes through which only vapors are entering and moving towards the top. So uh, why liquid didn't come down? Because there is a high pressure of the vapor as compared to the liquid force here to go down. So definitely liquid will be pushed up and it makes froth here, and there is no liquid coming down. But in this case you can see that here when there is like very low vapor flow, he has mentioned in the form of arrows here, big arrows that showing that huge are more high flow rate of the vapors as compared to this. Here there is a low flow rate, so in this case definitely there will be low pressure of the vapors, and then in such case liquid find this path easy to go down, because if here are the holes and liquid is there, definitely it will just pass down, because if there is no push, there is no force from the bottom, and this condition should be avoided. It should not be done like this way, because liquid should come down through the downcomer, not through these paths, and this happens only in case of like low flow rate of the vapors. So for the good contact between the liquid and vapors, on each tray there is usually equilibrium between the liquid and vapor, and equilibrium will happen when there is a good mixing between those vapor and liquid, and until unless the liquid is very viscous. In such case, if it is very viscous, definitely when vapor are coming in contact with that, they cannot make good contact with the whole liquid. Otherwise, on the whole surface of the tray there is contact between vapor and liquid, and mass transfer occur, and they reach to the equilibrium.
So ये C और D में क्या फर्क है?
कौन से वाला? ये वाला?
Yes sir, यहाँ पे emulsion yes sir, C emulsion और D जो है इसमें क्या फर्क है? दोनों में हम कह रहे हैं कि flow rate of जो vapor होगा वो less होगा, तो फर्क क्या आएगा फिर?
Actually, as I mentioned somewhere, like if you look at this in such a way that overall vapor flow rate is keep on decreasing in each of these. Suppose here was some specific flow rate, it decreases, it further decreases, and further decreases. So overall, in these cases, actually vapor flow rate is overall kept on decreasing. So when vapor flow rate will keep on decreasing, here you can see that still somehow they can escape from it, somehow they can move towards the top, but still there is a trapping somehow, and you can see from here, although this is not that clear, but you can see that some are trapped and liquid is going down, so still they are part of the liquid. In this case it is further reduced, and those vapor which were even coming in contact with the liquid, they cannot push liquid towards the top, they cannot escape from the liquid, they become part of the liquid. And in this case it is further reduced, they keep on joining with each other, and they make further like big droplets, and they make at the end of the day foam. So it is not necessary always that each of these phenomena should occur in with each vapor and liquid. Maybe in some kind of system those vapor can make something foam with the liquid. So this is the difference. Did you get it now?
Yes sir. इसमें सर ये जो हमारे पास फ्लो रेट है वेपर का, ये इसमें emulsion में ज़्यादा होते हैं.
Yes, overall it is still better, because if you look at this kind of distribution here, you can see still there is a better like what I should say disturbance here as compared to these two. Still they are just being trapped inside the liquid. Still they are managing somehow to move out of the liquid, but they can't. Now after this, like up to here, what we have discussed, that what are mass transfer equipment, and out of those we took that we have to discuss tower, plate tower, and packed column. So out of those we started with this tray, and how mass transfer is occurring on the surface of tray, and what phenomena occurs. Up to here we have discussed. So next is about what are the types of trays. So do you know what are the types? There are 3 different types of trays.
Sort of bubble cap hai.
Yeah, okay, good. Other are called well trays, and the third one are called sieve trays or perforations. So in these kind of trays, first of all, I will just talk about this sieve or perforation. So as you can see in this diagram here, there are perforation are the sieve trays. So usually the holes are in this range, that they vary from 1/8 inch to 1/2 inch in diameter. there will be large number of holes on the surface of tray. I will also show you some more diagram in the next slide, so there you can observe that how it looks like overall, like the tray which contain the hole. So these are the one type of tray which are used. So on the surface of tray there are holes, so through these holes actually vapor coming from the bottom tray, they will just pass through these holes and come in contact with the liquid and then keep on moving towards the top. Then there are the valve trays. So in second type here shown is the valve tray. So in this tray actually there is commonly opening of 1 to 2 inch in diameter, and that is fitted with the hole. Like in this diagram which is shown at the bottom here, you can see that there is a tray, and inside that you fix a valve, and that valve is in such a way that that is like that can open when the vapor push it, and otherwise it can get closed. So and this area through which the vapor can move towards the top is 1 to 2 inch, and overall this looks like this. I'll also will show you some other diagram. And the third one, which is called bubble cap tray. In this kind of trays, there is a plate, and on the surface of that there are some riser here. These are called riser, and they are covered just with some cap, and vapors, and by the way, these are fixed. Bubble cap trays are the fixed. Vapor will just pass through this area, which is usually in 2 to 3 inch in diameter here through this riser, and overall cap this has a diameter of 3 to 6 inches. So vapor will just go to the top, and then they find some paths through the holes which are, for example, mentioned here, that they can just escape through these and then move towards the, they come in contact with the liquid on its surface. So overall, if you look at these are, by the way, based on some of the statistics provided in your textbook, that if there is some tray of 11 feet diameter, overall its diameter is 11 feet, so it might have 5,000 3 by 16 inch diameter perforations. Here he has still reduced its diameter to low as compared to these which I have mentioned there. So there can be like 5,000 holes on its surface, and they can have this diameter 3 by 16 inch. Or if instead of this sieve you use the valve, so there will be actually 1,000 2-inch diameter valve caps on that surface. Or if you are using bubble caps, so then there will be like 500 bubble caps with the 4-inch diameter. So as you keep on moving from sieve towards the bubble cap, number of like that opening keep on decreasing because they are big in size, so overall their number will decrease. So let's look at this first one. Please just look at this. This is sieve tray. So how does it look like? It is sieve tray. On the surface of this there are small holes, just and through these holes like vapor will be just moving towards the top. The other one, which was called like bubble cap. So how does it actually look like? For example, here you can see it better in this diagram. So it is actually the fixed one. You can see there is some fixed surface here which was called riser. So on that the surface of riser there is a like cap on its surface. So there are some openings which are called slots, and through these slots actually vapor just move out. So in the other diagrams here you can also see there is a riser on its surface cap, and from where the vapors are escaping. And this is not movable, usually this is fixed, so when vapor will come they will just they reach to the top, and then they find the path towards moving out. And this is how they look like on the actually tray which is used somewhere in industry. So you can see in these kind of diagrams overall caps are fixed, and there are some openings here at the bottom. When vapor will just reach to this, they will just be escaping from here. And by the way, they have holes at the bottom side. For example, in these you can very clearly see, because there will be the liquid and that will be staying here on the surface, so that when they are leaving just from the bottom, the contact between the vapor and the liquid will be better. Instead of this, if, for example, we just make holes at the top, there will be some liquid at the bottom which will not contact the vapors. And the next one, which were called like valve trays. So here they have mentioned that they have somehow flexible opening, and that opening can vary based on the like amount of the vapor. For example, in this diagram you can see that it is a small opened in a small amount as compared to two other, because here is a low pressure of the vapor, and in this case when there is a low pressure, this vapor actually push the valve, and this is movable structure here that can be pushed, that slit can be moved upward based on the pressure of the vapor. Otherwise it will be fully closed. For example, here in this diagram you can see that there are some structure and they seems closed, they are just fixed to the surface, and when pressure of the vapor will just appear from the bottom, they will push the trays upward, these valve upward, valve seat will be moved towards the top, and vapor will find the path to move away. And with the help of these arrows you can see that as you keep on increasing the vapor pressure, their opening keep on increasing, but there is definitely some limit. Up to that you can go, after that it will just stop even if you keep on increasing the vapor flow rate. So here these are just three types which are commonly used, and we would like to thank this organization or a company where they have provided these diagrams. So by the way, with the here we will look at the actually comparison, that which one is better or what are their benefits, or like I mean which one we have to select, because you have seen now all of three. So let's look at that. So here mean with the passage of time, tray efficiency has increased, and their capacity has also increased 20% due to different changes in the design. So those changes like I just didn't put them here. So those changes include actually the improvement in the trays design in terms of the better contact between the vapor and liquid. So kindly I will advise you, I will just quickly tell you, but go through the book. There he has mentioned 6-7 points, and out of those mainly major one, they are related to increase in the contact between liquid and vapor. So they have made a lot of changes in the downcomer design, so that you can just reduce the area of downcomer. That should be still sufficient for the liquid to flow down, but it shouldn't occupy, for example, half of the plate that is dedicated for the downcomer and like for the movement of liquid from top to bottom. So with that, when you will reduce its area, definitely for the vapor to just pass from the lower plate towards the top will increase, and due to that increase in the vapor flow rate towards the top plate, the contact between liquid and vapor has increased, and in that case, due to that increase in contact, definitely efficiency has improved. So they are majorly related to the changes in design of this downcomer area. So comparison here is provided for these three type of trays, and that is in terms of the cost, pressure drop, and mass transfer efficiency overall. Somehow vapor capacity to handle the amount of vapor, and flexibility of which one is more conventionally used and flexible. So there is some term called turn down ratio here mentioned in the table. I will just show you. So turn down ratio is actually ratio of maximum to minimum vapor flow capacity. So like you can see, this is from your text, that comparison of these trays, sieve trays, valve trays, and the bubble cap trays. So first of all, comparison is based on the cost, that which one should be selected. So if sum of trays cost 1 unit, or suppose 1 rupees, $1 to just make this sieve tray. So if you are using valve tray, it will cost just 1.2, but bubble cap trays cost more than like this, as compared to sieve, their cost is double, and they are based on like a number calculated based on somehow experience or the plants which are running. So these are based on that, not random number. The pressure drop, if you look at all those structure, what do you think pressure drop should be lowest in which one? Did he mention right, like in sieve trays, as he mentioned? Guys, if I go back here, just look at these. So when there are only just perforation, the vapor are just coming and leaving these, there is just vapor will find restriction where there is no opening, but through the holes when vapor pass there is no restriction. So overall actually pressure drop in these sieve trays is less as compared to these two. And among these two, still in this case of which was called like well trays, when vapors are coming and they push the this valve, it's movable, it can just raise up. Due to this, all those vapor after coming after that they will face low pressure drop. As compared to this, when you look at this one, there is a high pressure drop. He mentioned that highest in this case, and in this the reason is that always it is fixed. Vapor will just straight like enter from this bottom path, they will collide with the top surface of this cap which is bubble. So after this then they find the path to move through some opening. So due to this reason, after colliding of all vapor with this, because this is the fixed surface, so pressure drop is higher in this case. So then there was the case of efficiency. In terms of efficiency, sieve tray have the low efficiency as compared to the other. So what do you think? What can be the reason, possible reason? Any idea?
Sir, space
Guys,
time.
are you there?
Sir, residence time of vapors I think increases.
In case of valve and bubble.
Sir, in case of bubble cap trays, the residence time of vapor, contact of vapor with the liquid is highest.
Okay, good. And the other thing, what do you think? In which case the weeping is more possible, even if pressure is sufficiently high? In which case liquid can still go down towards the bottom plates through the path of this, which was we call it like this opening. In
Sieve
case of
trays.
sieve trays, definitely there is no blockage, so any liquid, it will find a small like opportunity, it will start going down. So overall, that is another problem here in their lower efficiency, because liquid can move through the sieves towards the bottom plate, and when it is moving, actually what happens, there is no contact between the liquid and vapor. In that case decreases. So due to that reason, when, because liquid is just escaping easy path, it is not going through whole plate, and the contact between vapor and liquid is less. So the other two, they have definitely good contact, so their efficiency is high. Now you have to compare based on the other factors. And this vapor capacity, they can handle, sieve trays can handle highest, valve trays can handle highest, and bubble cap can handle lowest. You have to tell me what is the reason behind this. And turn down ratio is like maximum to minimum vapor capacity, holding capacity, that is best in this bubble cap, and they keep on decreasing with this, because there are small openings here, still valve that can handle, somehow they are close to each other, and here there are then like in case of bubble, this capacity is highest. Why did he mention vapor capacity is lowest in this case? Any idea?
इसमें जो हमारे पास होता है फ्लोरेट सबसे कम है, ओपनिंग स्मॉल है.
Opening is still not that small, but if you just remember, one of the fact was mentioned here, that how many plates should be installed, or sorry, if you are using any plate with 11 feet, you can see that you keep on decreasing the like as you keep from sieve away, then there are the valves, they are still good in number, but when you go for this, actually for its construction you need a lot of space, and for that, because if you remember, its cap carries or occupies the dia of 3 to 6 inches, while hole has only the opening of 2 to 3 inches. And at the same time, if you are using the valve tray and that has a 2-inch diameter, they can be installed, you can see here, double in number as compared to this. So overall they will be less in number on the plates. Due to this, there will be the less passage for the vapor, as one of the students was mentioned. Yes, so in that case definitely there will be less vapor capacity handled by the bubble cap trays. So this is the last slide about this. So when you look at like limiting flooding vapor velocity, liquid droplet entrainment becomes excessive. As I already mentioned this, that flooding is that condition in which actually vapor velocity is high and they carry liquid droplets, so which lead to the liquid flow to exceed the downcomer capacity, thus pushing the liquid up the column. Already I have discussed this point earlier when I was talking about that what entrainment is and what is flooding. In this case it was mentioned that actually when vapor velocity is very high, it will carry liquid towards the top and the liquid will be just carried away to top of the column, and that condition is called flooding. So we should avoid that when we are operating the column. So whenever vapor flow rates are very low, so in that case definitely liquid weeping occurs, and that through these spray opening mostly occurs, and vapor pulsation become excessive in that case. So actually he is comparing as compared to the trace. So in case of sieve trace, definitely this phenomena is more high as compared to other. So is preferable, as you have seen, in terms of cost, but until unless it is not causing much trouble overall, as we have seen the other factors, that it is just less costly. But if you look at this, yes, pressure drop is still low in this, but efficiency is also low, although it can handle the highest capacity. So whenever guys you are selecting, you will have number of parameter, and then based on that you have to decide that in the long term, basically when it will be running for 20 years or like that, so which one will be beneficial for us and which one is the better when you being design engineers select. So bubble cap are preferred mainly. This is, although I think in your text it is mentioned that before 1950 or 1945 these bubble caps were very widely used, but they are not commonly used now. Either sieve trays are more commonly used, are the well trays, because they are the best suitable option. So these bubble cap trays are preferred especially when you need some liquid hold up. Why? Because sometimes we need liquid hold up on the surface of plate for some chemical reaction, or sometimes if you want to avoid weeping, so that case you can use these bubble cap. But out of these, they commonly used now in practice are like well placed, because they don't have much high cost as compared to like these type suitors only 1.2 times, and all other factors are good, are in a good position. As compared to the factors which are here for these kind of trays, which are acid trays. So thank you so much. Let's stop here. So we will start with this PET tower by next lecture. So any question, let me know please.
सर जब हम इसमें अपवर्ड मूव करेंगे तो हमारे पास जो गैस का प्रेशर होगा वो रिड्यूस होगा?
Yes, when we keep